Niger Delta has been enjoying peace as 13 militant groups agreed a truce with the federal government for a long time. Problem ensued as these militant groups have threatened to go back to their former ways of threatening the society. The group said they have withdrawn the agreement made with the federal government to cease fire because of President Muhammadu Buhari's refusal to meet their demands. The statement was signed by the following leaders of the 13 groups: General John Duku for Niger Delta Watchdogs, General Ekpo for Niger Delta Volunteers, General Osarolo Nedam for Niger Delta Warriors, and Major General Henry Okon Etiti for Niger Delta People's Fighters, and the rest of them. The main issue arising is that President Buhari has refused to sack the Niger Delta Affairs Minister, who is Senator Godswill Akpabio, and the removal of the Interim Management Committee of the Niger Delta Commission, which is highly corrupt under the supervision of Godswill Akpabio. The group also stressed on the matter of corruption going on in the APC group and how the government has refused to tackle it even in the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs, the NDDC, and the Presidential Amnesty. They also stressed out the matter of the president being less concerned about appointing and replacing the managing director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation with someone from Niger Delta. They said the people of Niger Delta are suffering and the federal government has not done anything useful about it. They added by saying the lackadaisical attitude of the government is bringing them back to the period of 2005 to 2009, where militants carried out their operations, and this also laid the foundation for the establishment of the amnesty program by the Yaradua administration to stop their operations. Coalition of Niger Delta agitators said that they should not be held responsible for any action that arises as a result of the failure of President Buhari to address the issues placed before him. Well, so guys, this issue of this Niger Delta boys or whatever militant they call themselves, this is not the first time we've been hearing them. Of course, for some time now, we've not been hearing most of all this what do they call pipeline blowing of pipelines and all of those. But the question I want to ask, because they made mention of their people have not been taken care of. These Niger Delta boys, they have their own separate country from the Niger Delta people, because they are on. It's like they are on their own. They deal with the federal government. They have their caucus. They work. You know, those their groups or whatever. They work with the federal government. They are in a different planets entirely, in my opinion. Because if you talk about the people now, when whatever that comes or how they say to you guys, it is for you and not for the benefits of everybody. There's a particular money that is being given to them. There's this whatever the allowances or whatever, which is named amnesty. Then tell me, what is the percentage of the people who are getting this money? Has that transformed to development that everybody, I don't even know how the government even came about that amnesty of a thing. Now, selected individuals, the same problem we are having in the country as a whole. Selected individuals, few individuals, they will settle them, they will tell you they are giving them this. My question is that all this while they've been telling us that they've been training them, they've been doing this, they've been whatever, some of them have been sent abroad. How many of them have really come back, or what have we seen that we can say, oh, they are being sponsored outside the country or to go and study anywhere, has yielded positive result to the general public in the Niger Delta? I don't even know their usefulness, honestly. At the end of the day, we talk about development. These guys have been getting a lot of money for them and for their caucus, as it has not yielded development in the area up to this moment that we speak. It hasn't yielded any results. So what are we talking about? And as I believe that maybe they are in a different platform or in the different planet, that is all about select. You just select few individuals, settle them, then the rest people will be bound to the Philistines, because these ones are the Egbe wagers that can carry all manner of things and threaten and do this and that. So they are being there. The amnesty, what has he brought, what goodness, what development has it brought to Niger Delta in the first place? You see the issue of this esme, if really you are fighting for your people, if not that for the people in your cartel that the government, federal government is settling, but what of the, like I said, the percentage of these people who are members of this Niger Delta militants, what is their percentage compared to the larger populace in the Niger Delta? And what are these Niger Delta militants or the MNC, what development has it brought to the zone? Nothing. Esme are doing all manner of things. You talk about your people, because when it comes to all this kind of a thing that they want to get something, they not talk about our people. But your people that you are talking about, of course, maybe they are people, their own people who are getting this remuneration from the federal government. But what of the people who, the everyday people in that zone, what have they achieved with this your amnesty? That is what the people need to be asking. Because it's not by, oh, this and this and that. It's a different ballgame entirely. They talk about Aquabio, that one is taken to a different level. But the nitty-gritty, because when we talk about ordinary person who does not have anybody to speak for him, who does not have anybody to fight for him. We are not talking about these people, they've carved themselves. They call themselves Niger Delta militants, not the people on ground, not the people on the street. What has the people on the street gained from this Niger Delta? What meaningful development has come to that region that we can pinpoint? That is the question we need to ask, and that is what we have been facing in this country. Some people will tell you, oh, our region, oh, they don't get appointments and all of that. Then if they get the appointment, then what happens to everyday man on the street? Just for you to get appointment, you and your family get the appointment and all of that. Then how does that relate? How does that transform to good governance to a man who is working on the street? Because your people have been taken care of, and the people will not be able to talk. So because you have given appointment to somebody from my region, then that will now fee my it will pay my bills. It will pay the bills of every Nigerian on the street. Until we do the right thing, until we are not sentimental, until we do the right thing, we are not ready for change that we really deserve. We are not ready for it. In as much some few individuals will be selected and be given some kind of privileges, this suffering of the masses will continue. When have you heard about this Niger Delta people talking about the Esme who are killing people on a daily basis in their region? No, they won't say that. It's always about oil, this and that. Anything revolves around this oil of a thing. That is just what they are concerned about. That's why I'm asking whether they are in a different planet apart from the Niger Delta people on the streets, or everyday Niger Delta on the streets. It's so disheartening. This country, North is sucking our oil. Somebody is saying here, reacting to this, that the North is sucking our oil. Everything South have. What have they brought from the North to South? Nothing. They feed all Fulani in all positions in order to encounter any challenge. Yes, in as much this person is having this kind of mindset, but what I'm saying, I'm of the opinion that at the end of the day, at the face value, what has their whatever their agitation brought to the states entirely, or to the region entirely, because it's all about settling individuals. I think they need to do more. It is not all about, oh, they just bring some people together and they settle them, and that's it. It goes beyond that. And they've been getting a lot of money. And like I said, it's a different ballgame entirely when they want to talk about who gets what, or who is corrupt, or whatever has been going on. But we are talking about the people. It's all about the people, not just few individuals. The agitation, has it brought meaningful development that everybody on the street in that region will be benefiting? That is what we are talking about, because most of the time we tend to leave the main issues and begin to chase shadows. Is there anything like taking laws into one's hands? The herdsmen killing, raping, banditry activities, is it in line with the law of the nation? Is it when one is agitating for what is legitimate, like they are talking about now, that has become the process of taking laws into their hands? However, I'm advising them not to face the government, rather face the herdsmen who are brutalizing the innocent souls in their area. Kindly form a formidable data force to contend with the menace. it is part of it. That is what exactly what I'm saying. Everything should be considered holistically if we want progress. You talk about what are you talking about your people, because they made mention of your people, but your people, the everyday person who is farming, who is on the road complaining about the atrocity or the havoc of this Esme. You are not saying anything about that. In as much you are talking about the other side, but everything must be said if really you are fighting for your people. And the oil that you are talking about is just some few individuals uh, being tagged as a amnesty. They are the ones enjoying all these things. What is that thing that you just put on ground that everybody, whether you are this, whether that, it must not be militant. It's not everybody that is in the group of that militant. And how is it going to sustain this region? And at the end of the day, those who have gone out to school or whatever they gave to them, what have we ever seen any results based on that? Honestly, the way almost everybody in this country, every region will have their problems. We have leadership at those levels. They are the ones causing problem here and there. So let's hear your opinion concerning this whole thing, and let's have your take respectfully in the comment section.